Hello all. I want to start off this video by just saying thank you guys. My last video got over 100 views. That's my first video to get over 100 views, and I know that's literally nothing of a number. That's nothing of a number at all. But I always said that if I ever did like become successful in any type of social media, YouTube or anything like that, Twitch, anything like that, I would always be really thankful for all of my supporters. And even though the 140 people that watched the video might not support me necessarily, I appreciate it. I appreciate the couple of likes I got. I got two comments. Uh, I don't know if the first comment was pro or against me. The second comment was definitely against me. But to that person, I thank you for your comment. Keep watching the videos. You can keep telling me about how horrible I am or how wrong I am. I appreciate that. That's America. That's what we do. We discuss things. Um, so a little bit about what I'm trying to do here. When I first started off, when I first decided to make a channel talking about politics and stuff, I didn't really want to go down the path of just commenting on current events. I think there's a lot of channels that do that, and I think that you get something from it, like you get information, you get knowledge, and which is a good thing, but it's only so much you can get from just somebody commenting on what's going on today. Like, this is what happened today. Like, yes, it's good to have that knowledge. It's very good to have the knowledge, and I'm not knocking any of those creators or any of those channels, but I want to do something that where we together, not just me, can come up with a set of policies that we can support, so that anybody who agrees with me, like if you don't agree with me, then maybe we come up with some policies that you don't like, and you could be like, I'm not for any of this stuff. But anybody who has the same type of mindset as me, we can know, okay, boom, this is what I want to happen on this, boom, this is what I want to happen on this, boom, this is what I want to happen on this, so that it helps you like go through the political world. It helps you know who to vote for, because you already know how you feel about policies, which is so important. It's so important to come up with your own opinion on policy. Do your research, be open to change your mind, but come up with your own core of like, this is what I believe on this is what I believe on that, so that you don't get swayed by some random thing, because there's always going to be things that's going to challenge your opinion, just like there's going to be things that reinforces your opinion. But as long as you have that core like principle in yourself, then you don't really sway just because this thing happened or just because that thing happened. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I know my core principle in this situation, so I'm not really being swayed. So today, the issue today that I want to talk about, it's kind of news. I mean, it's kind of current events, but not really. It's Israel, the Israel-Palestine situation. So first of all, I'm not really going to talk about the history that much, because I'm trying to keep these videos short for now. And if I was to go into the history, this video wouldn't be short. Second all, I don't really think the distant history, like going back to like the 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s and 60s, doesn't really necessarily matter that much to what I'm talking about. Like, it matters. I don't want to say it don't matter, but it don't really matter enough to what I'm talking about. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the two-state solution. So just briefly, because most people should know what a two-state solution is by now, it is an idea that you can have a both Israeli state and Palestinian state in the, I don't even know what you would call that area. I'm sure it has a technical name. I'm just gonna say the Greater Israeli area, just because I don't know the technical name for it. Now, the people have been wanting that for a long time. Most people have been saying that that's what they want, but recently there has been a growing chorus of people that are saying the two-state solution is pretty much dead. And the reason they're saying that a two-state solution is pretty much dead is because there's so many settlements, Israeli settlements in the West Bank, that people are saying, like, you're not going to get those settlers out. There's like 700,000 settlers. You're not going to get those settlers out. So how could you have a two-state solution? And so they're calling for a one state solution where all of it is Israel or some other country that, maybe a new name, but all of it is one country. And the Palestinians and the Israelis just share that one country, and they have equal rights in the government and stuff like that. Now, for me, if we lived in like a perfect world and people could just get over stuff super easily and people could just live in peace, that would probably be the best option in this hypothetical, fictional, made up world. That would be the best option. They would just live together in peace and harmony in the same country. Realistically, though, that's not going to happen. Number one, that's not something that their Israeli population wants. So, like, they're not going to go for that. Number two, I just feel like you're going to have so much violence if you try to force them together without some outside force. Like unless some outside military is going to like invade like Israel and like force them to what I'm saying, be peaceful, and the same with the Palestinians. Like unless some outside force is going to make sure peace is held, I just don't think that's going to work out long term. I don't think that's going to be a peace strategy, and I don't think it's possible. I don't think the Israeli government would allow that, and I don't know if you have any countries with a strong enough will to just say, "Well, f you, we're going to invade Israel and force." I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. It might be, like I said, in a perfect world, that's the best outcome. I don't think it's possible, at least not right now. So my idea, my thought process of how you would still have this two-state solution is, number one, I feel like the Gaza Strip should be absorbed into Israel just because it's such a small territory and there's so many people living on that territory that it's going to become a problem. I think you allow some of those people to move out to the West Bank. Well, that's where my idea is going. But I'm you allow some of those people to move out. You give them money, like you don't force them out, but you're like, hey, if you move out to the West Bank, to Egypt, to some other countries, like in America, we should take some of these Palestinians. Like, let's not be racist, but let's take them in other countries too, France or whatever. Give them a chance, you know what I'm saying? So we can depopulate a little bit, not by force, but just enough to where the Israelis don't feel like, oh my God, we're about to get, you know what I'm saying, swamped by all these, Palestinians. And so you, as much as want to leave, you let them leave. Not everybody's going to want to leave, and you let those people stay there. But as much as them want to leave, you let them leave. And then, like I said, Israel absorbs Gaza, and the Gazans are now Israeli, people. They have one state. They coexist as much as they can. The problems that I said would happen if you try to have one complete state would still happen, but because of the smaller size, the less people, it's going to be on a smaller scale. And even though it's still going to be bad for some years, I think that's going to be manageable, especially because a lot of it is going to be coming from one area. So for the West Bank, what I would do is I would get like a coalition of the willing, so to speak. You got all these countries right now that are talking about, that they recognize Palestine as its own nation and stuff like that. What I would do, I would go to these countries and I would say, maybe NATO could do it, honestly, but I don't know if you could get everybody to agree. But I don't even know if you would need everybody to agree with this. But you recognize the West Bank as Palestine. That's Palestine. The coalition of the willing, or NATO, sends in troops into the West Bank, not into Israel. We send them into the West Bank because the West Bank is not your country. It's Palestine now. We send them in, and we make what I'm calling in my head, like, might sound stupid, but I'm calling it like a NATO protectorate. That's if you did it with NATO nations, a NATO protectorate. So we tell the Israeli army members that's in there, like, you can go back to Israel. We will cover security, and the people who are inside the West Bank, the settlers, are now part of Palestine. Like, congratulations, you're a Palestinian citizen. Just like the people in Gaza are now Israeli, the people in the West Bank are now part of Palestine. And the reason that you have the members of NATO there is, number one, so you don't have any one country like going against, because I feel like the settlers are going. It's going to be some violence with the settlers. So you don't want to have just one country burdening that. You don't want to have like just America, or just, you know what I'm saying, France, or just, Great Britain or something burdening that. So that's why you have this coalition. So you're gonna tell the settlers, like, you're part of Palestine now. You could either A, move back to Israel, or B, you can live in the Palestinian state, and hopefully they treat you better than you treated them. And I would help build it up. It wouldn't cost that much. It's a very small land between all of our countries. You help build it up. You give them security, and you allow them to prosper. You know what I'm saying? And the West Bank is already more tame than Gaza. I don't think you would have as much like terrorist attacks. You might have some, just because I feel like if you put outside soldiers anywhere in the Middle East, then you're going to get attacked by terrorists. I'm sorry, that's not trying to be racist, but let's be honest, that's what's going to happen. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the most leftist lefty. You know that's going to happen. If you put American military people anywhere in the area to where they can get attacked, they're going to get attacked. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think the attacks will be that bad. And like I said, it'll be shouldered through a bunch of different countries. It won't just be American countries. I mean, America. So I think if you did that, you could rescue, not survive. You could rescue the two-state solution. And I really think that's the only way you're going to be able to have a two-state solution, is with some kind of force. Like, Israel, the politics in Israel are so that they're never going to be for a two-state solution. And the longer you let it go, the harder it's going to get to make one. So that's my idea. I'm not in power, so I can't implement it. So that's just a random person's idea on the internet. But if you have a better idea, let me know. Tell me an idea which doesn't involve us literally attacking Israel, and doesn't involve us like putting sanctions on Israel or something like that. And the reason why I wouldn't do that is because Israel is our ally. It's one of our strongest allies, and you don't want to go around knocking your allies in the head. I know that that's not going to be a popular opinion with a lot of people on the left, because a lot of people on the left probably like, fuck Israel. But Israel is our ally. So if you can salvage your relationship with your allies, that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. And my ethos, allies are very important, and they're very good to have. So if you could rescue your relationship with an ally, if you can get them to do what you want to do without beating them over the head, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can do it, like, you still got to force them to do it. Like, you go still have to force Israel to accept the troops in the West Bank and accept Palestine. But that's way more palatable than like, oh, we're going to have a blockade around you. We're going to, impose sanctions. We're going to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff, it is to me, it's a little too much. It's a little too much. Unless Israel literally was like, no, you cannot come in here into the West Bank. You cannot do this. You cannot. Like, if Israel's really like, no, or we're going to attack you if you come, then you can be like, okay, then now we got to do what we got to do. But allies are important. Allies are very important, especially when they're strong allies like Israel. Japan, Great Britain, um, maybe France. I wouldn't put France in there, or Germany. Poland. Poland's a great ally. Like when you have countries where not only the government loves your country, like loves America, but the people love America too, that's a strong ally. It's not like an ally like freaking India. Like that's to me that India is a weak ally. They're wishy washy. They play us a little bit. But anyway, this video is going way longer than I want it to go. So like I said, thank you again for the views. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the engagement. Hopefully I have more engagement. Get in the comments and tell me how stupid I am. I did not go to school for any of this. So hey, I do not have an ego in this at all. So you can get in the comments, tell me how stupid I am. Or you can say, well, I like your opinion, but this is how I would make it better. Because like honestly, I want this to be a forum where we can come together and we can make the policies that we want to see. We can have a plan for every single issue. Like we can have an idea for every single issue out there, so that when we're voting, when we're looking at stuff, even when we're just talking to our politicians, we can say this is what we want. This is not just tax the rich, just some vague thing. Like no, we want you to do exactly this. We want you to do this in this situation. So that's what I'm trying to do. So like I said, thank you again. Like, subscribe, talk, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon.